A laugh hangs above steaming springs outside Medellin when a sharp sound tears through it. The man drops, still. Elsewhere, shadows dance in a Virginia basement where a veteran stares past his glass at old snapshots glowing under faulty light. Memories drag up images of sand, gunfire, friends vanishing mid-step. His breath shakes, hands close around cold metal. Later that night, silence takes over completely. Not long after, folks gather under gray skies, standing still as dirt gets tossed onto a casket. Out of nowhere, Master Sergeant Brandon finds himself staring down sorrow, mourning someone he once fought beside. This guy now gone was part of his old unit, back when things felt solid. Memories drag him under, especially thoughts about decisions made near the end, ones he cannot make sense of. How does a man praised by so many wind up vanishing into silence? Major Miller steps in, voice low, reminding him combat changes people. It digs deep, reshapes what's inside. That idea sticks, burrowing into Brandon's head. Could that slow break happen to him next? Is it already starting? Then comes talk of Colombia. A task pops up involving the DEA, one they claim matters more than most. But Brandon isn't listening. Not really. Pain sits heavier than duty right now. He says no, tries to turn away. Miller doesn't argue. Instead, keys get pressed into his hand, a vehicle outside, engine off but ready. It'll drive him straight to a plane owned by the agency. No discussion, just motion. Later, tires roll onto tarmac in Bogota. The local driver who meets him won't quit talking, keeps praising skills from years ago, acts like meeting Brandon is some kind of honor. Back then, sniping wasn't performance. It was precision others still whisper about. At the National Police HQ, Brandon comes across Santiago first. This cop's role is to watch over him. Then he greets Captain Garza, the one bridging Colombian forces, and the US DEA. Standing nearby stands Master Gunnery Sergeant Beckett, a man who just so happens to be Brandon's dad. Joy flashes between them upon reuniting, yet titles replace names. Ranks stay in place to honor duty. The briefing kicks off. He finds out Morales runs Colombia's biggest cartel. That network moves drugs along 60% of smuggler paths heading north. Its method? Pulling kids off city corners, turning them young into enforcers. Out of sight for a decade, he left no digital footprint, yet signs point to his comeback, the bodies piling up fast, starting with the one floating in warm water. Each kill bears the mark of someone trained, precise, likely once part of an elite unit, which suggests Morales called in a lethal favor. News just arrived, he'll be at the countryside property within hours, so field operatives push for Brandon's help during the takedown. He resists, calling it pointless oversight work, sparking tension around the table. Then footsteps echo, door swings open. It's Kate from the Drug Enforcement Agency, voice sharp, eyes narrowed, upset she was cut out of the planning. Files under her arm contain every detail on the estate layout. She drops them hard, demanding clarity. Will he follow orders? Quiet pause. He answers flatly, despises these assignments, but yes, he'll comply. Morning light filters through the trees as Kate leads DEA members toward the farm, shadows moving behind her. Alongside walk Garza's officers, boots pressing into damp earth. Hidden among branches, Brandon waits, silent beside Santiago. Back inside the station, screens glow under Beckett's stare. He sits stiff when Agent Sampson enters, voice tight with doubt about unverified clues being chased. Trucks halt far off-road, engines killed before anyone steps out. A shape moves first, then another follows, hidden among leaves and tree skin. At a nod from Beckett, seen but not heard, the charge begins fast, boots pounding, then a kick shatters wood. Door flies inward. Seconds later, fire erupts from walls, swallowing everything it touches. Those standing too close vanish beneath flame and rubble. A few farther back roll clear, gasping smoke. Only Garza falls mid-escape, blood blooming below his knee. Bullet fired from unseen ridge, sent by Morales' man. Behind the farm vehicle crouches Kate. She moves toward him, hoping to pull him free. Just as her hands lift him, gunfire cracks. Garza drops, struck dead by the sniper's round. That blast gives Brandon a flash of where the shot came from. He fires back fast, yet the shooter leans aside barely in time, then vanishes into cover before another attempt can land. Hours later inside the station, Sampson storms in, voice sharp with anger, demanding answers. They piece it together slowly. The leak likely sits within their own ranks. Kettle speaks next. So does Brandon. Both note how the gunman held fire until Kate stepped forward, meaning she was the true aim. Hitting Garza's leg wasn't luck. It was meant to draw her out. Only twist, her stumble placed Garza directly in line with the barrel. A slip that blocked the fatal hit. Sampson tries to shut everything down, yet Kate stands firm, unwilling to walk away empty-handed. Their back-and-forth drags until Brandon steps in, offering a compromise. 2 full days to locate the target. Failure means leaving quietly. Once the discussion ends, Beckett pulls Brandon aside, warning him the rival shooter may have ID'd him after that last exchange, suggesting caution. Off he goes, heading to claim a room at the DEA hideout near Las Cruces during his time in Colombia. Even with agents vouching for tight defenses, he can't shake the idea that a skilled marksman could pick off anyone inside without effort. Elsewhere, El Diablo, the gunman paid by Morales, is laughing with his lover when a ringing phone breaks the moment, bringing news about Kate and Brandon settling into the agency safe location. One mistake doesn't erase the need for another try. Staring at the screen, Brandon scrolls through words that speak of his friend's end. A pattern shows up there: the military lives breaking under unseen weight after duty ends. This time, El Diablo won't look away if the moment comes again out of nowhere. Kate cuts him short, grateful for how he stood by her in there. She's quick to say she's never let someone go on her watch before. Now, handling this loss feels like carrying bricks underwater. The bullet path through Garza puzzles her. It looked wrong somehow, and Brandon nods, adding that such a shot defies gravity itself. Hunting Morales matters more than chasing the shooter, she insists. Yet Brandon counters. Tunnel vision gets folks killed, time after time. Stung, she storms away, just making it into the elevator before grief cracks her composure wide open. Garza wasn't only a colleague. Regret sits heavy in her chest. Beyond the last streetlight, Brandon sifts bullet blueprints as police radios crackle with Santiago's shift pattern. Radio static stitches between sketches on worn paper. Patrol rhythms hum behind each design he eyes. Time ticks under whispered frequencies and hand-drawn schematics. Into the thick of voices she steps, heels cracking against wood. There it sits, her drink, just a single glass where others might expect more. Without warning, she pushes a man his hand had slipped too close. The room blinks, surprised. She stands straight, eyes sharp. A chill silence clings for a moment in the air, then the chatter resumes. The closing door is followed by a silence. Light settles at the foot of the stairs. Opposite, Carlos in a metal chair, arms bare, hands speckled with shreds from a broken carton. Time seems stuck there, hanging above stacked boxes in silence. Folks around here trust him because he shows up when others walk away. He tells her Morales isn't someone you beat, he's the kind who outlasts everyone, but she leans forward anyway, eyes sharp, so he finally speaks. The shooter's name is El Diablo, hired by Morales, which means if anyone knows where the boss hides, it's probably him. Just before walking away, Carlos says he will reach out to Karen should he uncover more details. At the safe house, Santiago spots trouble and rings Brandon fast. Brandon sprints upstairs, gun in hand. A distant figure crouches with a rifle, just like Santiago guessed. Silence settles as both men wait, watching for movement. Fire cracks first from Brandon's side, yet El Diablo slips aside, unharmed, then returns a shot. Leaping sideways, vanishing behind brick, Brandon holds still now, playing motionless, hoping the enemy thinks him gone. The following day begins with the team recovering the bullet, then reaching out to Miller through a video call for insight. A laser-guided system powers the projectile, its path adjustable mid-flight. Maybe El Diablo never served. Perhaps he simply relies on tech instead of skill. That thought slips in quietly. Miller adds another concern. This hideout offers little real protection, which lines up with what Brandon already sensed. Before disconnecting, Sampson commits to locating better lodging using CIA channels. Right now Morales stays inside his hidden place, messing around with the kid. Still, he shows them how to stand up and claim what belongs to them, not scared of anything. His way so harsh some run from him instead of standing tall. Later on, he walks into his workroom planning to reach El Diablo, yet finds the man already sitting in his seat. Payment is what El Diablo demands for every rival he erased, but Morales says no, it wasn't finished since Kate and Brandon still breathe, and boots him out, saying he's got no real use for him anyway. Morning light comes. Kate and Brandon ride toward another hiding spot when her phone rings. It's Carlos telling her El Diablo has someone close. He sends over where she lives, adds a warning about eyes everywhere, Morales people watching each corner. Once off the call, Kate says to Brandon she now sees this mission means nothing to him. That sniper needs findings. His bullets pack more punch than anything else about him. A nod comes, quiet agreement hanging in the air. Then without warning, tires scream and steel tears into steel as a truck rips through their car. Out jump armed men loyal to Morales, guns blazing without warning. Return fire erupts from Brandon and the officers who were guarding them, while Kate sprints toward cover between bursts of gunfire. Every attacker lies motionless afterward, yet one ally won't rise again. Santiago stays down. Scanning around, Brandon realizes Kate vanished, then spots her phone left behind, glowing faintly where she sat. The last message visible shows Carlos' coordinates untouched on its display. Right away, upon reaching the dim part of town, Kate senses eyes watching, men posted like sentinels. Knocking at the correct building, she faces Maria, Morales' partner, who starts shutting the door fast once the badge appears. Pushing forward, Kate resists. This motion alerts every nearby thug, drawing them in close. Maria shoves her backward just as Morales' crew moves in, grabbing hold. Swinging hard, Kate lands strikes here and there, yet strength in numbers wins out. They slam her into brick. Just as hands reach toward her one after another, shots crack through air. Brandon steps from shadow, gun blazing. Some drop lifeless, but one sprints off on a pilfered bicycle while Karen drags down the final target. Just before she knocks him out cold, Maria steps up, gun aimed, forcing Karen back. Then Brandon lunges from behind, catching Maria mid-move, giving Kate just enough time to rip the weapon free. From around Maria's throat, Kate snatches a small locket holding a snapshot, her beside El Diablo. Brandon snaps a picture, shoots it to his dad for facial scan checks against records. He adds that their team got hit earlier if proof someone leaks their moves. Whoever it is remains hidden. So now, he and Kate vanish elsewhere, skipping the safe house entirely. Not even Beckett gets told where they've gone. Samson's nerves are on edge at the station, suddenly pointing fingers at Beckett for letting his son steer things too far. Beckett doesn't bite. Instead of staying put, Kate moves Brandon toward her childhood streets where Carlos can keep them off the grid a while. The priest only shrugs when told Morales has spies inside the force. After all, big shots lean on him, plus every two-bit hustler treats him like royalty. It hits Kate then, rattling his crew might drag Morales into the open, and Carlos finally agrees to drop a few names he's heard through years underground. Over the next stretch of days, corpses start turning up across the city, each one tied to Morales' circle, one even handled his money. This story unfolds through Brandon's actions. Each named Carlos gives him met with swift results. Though Miller reaches out to Beckett, warning him things have gone too far, Beckett remains unsure where his son might be. Late one night, Carlos sits down with Brandon, listening as the younger man speaks of a dead Marine, the spark behind everything. Haunted by fear of meeting the same fate, Brandon finds himself caught in doubt until Carlos tells him peace comes not from revenge, but self-forgiveness for past choices. Elsewhere, Morales steps out after days hidden away, heading straight toward Maria's home hoping to track down El Diablo. Fed up with watching people die, he hands El Diablo every dollar he ever owed, then swears to deliver even greater sums if the killer halts Brandon. Later that week, Samson and Beckett reach Miller by phone, sharing what they uncovered. El Diablo answers to Enrique, once served as a sniper in military defense units. 9 months back, he slipped into Colombia from Venezuela, vanishing completely once past customs. Pulling their teammates aside, Samson argues Brandon and Kate should step away from active duty. Miller refuses, noting these two have pushed progress further than any others lately. At the same time, El Diablo bribes a local contact who spills details on Kate and Brandon's shelter. This slip reveals everything about Father Carlos. That night, just after 10, a note arrives from Carlos, meet me at the plaza. When Kate dials his number, silence answers back. Something feels wrong, like a thread pulled too tight. Through dim light they move, slipping into an empty shop facing the square, eyes fixed on shadows. Hours crawl past, then wheels crunch gravel. A truck backs in near the playground. Out step faces Kate knows, rough men from Maria's street, voices low. They crouch behind metal doors, doing work unseen. Tail lights fade down the road. The lot empties. That is when they see him, Carlos bound to bark, arms stiff against oak. Her feet shift forward instinctively, but Brandon grips her arm, steady, saying nothing will change if she runs blind into dark plans. A bullet from Brandon barely nicks the rope meant to hang Carlos, yet sparks fly, giving El Diablo a clear view. Second try hits true though, cutting Carlos loose just before gunfire erupts behind them. Off they run, gasping. Just as fury swells inside El Diablo, his shot meant not for one, not for the other, yet striking Carlos all the same, hurt sharpened by spite. Sun climbs above tile roofs. People draw close to the churchyard, speaking low. Kate stands close to others, eyes lowered. Behind everyone, Brandon spots movement, a familiar figure on foot now, having ditched the bicycle days earlier. He moves without announcement, weaving past market stalls and narrow alleys. The chase ends against a brick wall where resistance crumbles fast. Tough talk fades once Brandon speaks Morales' name, then mentions Father Carlos. Memory floods back to the meals shared, the coat handed over during winter, and suddenly the man sags, sobbing like grief had waited weeks weeks to strike. Minutes after the kid agrees to share where Morales hides, relief spreads through Brandon. He secured witness help. Sampson's crew moves fast, grabbing Morales before sunset. Flights reroute toward Miami for trial under U.S. law. Doubt creeps in on Brandon. El Diablo won't let silence win, he thinks. Turns out, he sees clearly. Days pass. Then El Diablo steps onto American soil holding a forged ID so solid even agents nod him through. Customs clears him without delay. He reaches out, voice low, connecting with arms dealers who stocked a vehicle just for moments like this. Loaded, ready. Far south in Florida, near cypress trees and open runways, three figures stand watching blades spin above dirt. The chopper touches down carrying their captured target. Only later do they meet up with Miller, piecing together how to shield Morales during the move to Miami, certain El Diablo won't miss the chance. Word comes from Miller, the rounds El Diablo favors have vanished from inside the DEA storage, so the leak was never across borders but right among them. Sampson steps in just as details unfold. Brandon outlines everything: agents leading a decoy convoy with a false Morales under a hood, meant to draw out their enemy. Meanwhile, the actual prisoner slips away unseen, tucked into a vehicle made to resemble one servicing linens. As dusk settles, Kate joins Brandon, Miller, and Sampson atop a building nearby, eyes scanning the darkening skyline. The motorcade pulls from the tarmac smoothly, rolling toward open roads where armed men already crouch and wait. Oddly, gunfire stays silent. They let the lead trucks pass untouched, engines roaring alive only once the unmarked van appears, as though someone tipped them off early. Their mission likely wasn't assault, it was silence, guarding secrets hidden within the man beneath the sheets. Down the road, El Diablo stands waiting till the van appears. Once it arrives, a bullet from his gun forces it to halt. Out pour the gang members, swapping gunfire with fast shots toward the stopped vehicle. One by one, Miller takes them down without pause. Realizing the attackers failed, El Diablo fires another round, this time aiming straight at the van's occupants. A blast follows. Metal flies. Smoke rises. That explosion gives away his position. Brandon locks on, lines up the shot, pulls the trigger. This time, nothing stirs afterward. Elsewhere, the rest of the group pushes forward, rolling steadily southward to Miami. Only then comes the truth: the person beneath the hoodie? Always Morales. The van itself had fooled everyone. Empty inside, driven not by people, but by signal, guided remotely from afar. Only after the trap snapped shut did Sampson crack, voice breaking as truth spilled out. Not denial this time, but a shaky yes. He'd fed secrets to Morales, handed clues to El Diablo too. What changed? Miller's tech crew pulled logs from his phone, lines of code turning silence into proof. Messages floated under aliases, clever masks, yet still fragile when held up to light. They waited days for one slip, one live handoff, before moving in fast. His excuse crawled out slow. He believed Morales could stop a nuke nobody else saw coming. Kate stood frozen, then swung fist meeting jaw for Garza, for Carlos, for bodies piling up behind bad choices. No cheers followed, only cuffs clicking tight around guilty wrists. With Sampson gone, boxed in a cell, Miller packed quiet and left for D.C., coat flapping in cold hallway air. The floor echoed long after the door closed. Retirement tugs at Beckett now, too much chaos stacked behind him. A quiet moment unfolds when he pulls his son close, arms wrapping without words. Only then does he step back, gaze steady as he leaves. Over near the truck, Brandon stands beside Kate, their rhythm obvious even in silence. That pairing? He nods toward them, he sees it clearly. Later, with boots still dusty, Brandon mutters how chasing leads for the DEA might just suit him fine. Not great, not grand, but enough. The wind shifts. The road ahead feels different now. No fanfare follows, just footprints fading into gravel. One chapter shuts while another stirs, slow and unsure. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.